Hey guys, welcome to this analysis of a replay. Of a game I just carried on Renekton. So if you're having trouble winning games at top lane, hopefully this is gonna help you see things differently. So for this game, my goal basically was just to try to deny my opponent as much as possible, as well as getting myself farm, right? So right off the bat, I am just trying to win lane in terms of trades so I can zone him out. So I just I guess I can just use some sound. Get a quick trade and then weave into the brushes. Just making use of my Doran shield in this matchup as a melee champion into ranged. Actually, hold on, I'll just take this out. But yeah, basically my goal is to, like I said, just make sure I'm getting CS. Well, I may have missed that one, but just trying to get damage off when I can, like level 2 power spike, for example. This is very basic, but basically as top lane, I think the goal to carry games with top lane is is really heavily about wave control, and it's about pressure on the opponent, so to force him out of lane or force him out of farm. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Renekton could be a really good champion to carry from top. For anyone that wants to try any champion or something, just the way his kit works with press the attack, you can deny opponents pretty well. But yeah, this game, Masahar dies in the jungle, and actually this, okay, actually he rage quits. Okay, actually this game might not be the best thing to go over, but anyway, I'll just go over briefly. When you have a CS lead, as top lane, the best thing to do to impact the game, to carry, is to deny the enemy top laner, right? So whenever you can. So right now I'm just playing really aggro. I know he wards the brush, so just waiting the other brush. Go into the other brush, and then I'm just trying to zone him out from pushing, from farming, from getting experience. So since this wave is pushing, I'm not trying to push this into his tower. I'm happy with this just pushing into me, and then I'm just looking out to make sure he's not getting experience. So I feel like this is the kind of way that you should carry a top lane, because I've thought that farming champs that scale into late game would be a good way to carry consistently, but honestly I think playing champs that can pressure the early game might be better for consistent results. So and this is the reason why Renekton, for example, is really good at this playstyle, because he can with PTA he can zone champions and punish. You see this champ has 500 HP, and then I just one-shot him with the flash and some damage extra. So I think a mistake that a lot of players could make is, for example, after they get the skill, they might have just shoved the wave in right after. But what I'm thinking is, I'm holding on to only 400 gold, right? Because I just backed. So pushing this and then recalling or whatever is not what I want to do here. Rather, I'm just going to go for a freeze. Just because I'm so far ahead, I do this. And then I deny basically 2 waves of experience. And as soon as he comes back into lane, I just look for, just to like make sure that he respects my my damage, but yeah, he just dies again from the freeze. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video, this recording, just to kind of let you guys think about how you're executing your leads top lane. If you can deny your opponent as much as possible, I think that is the best way to quote unquote carry from top lane, because top lane compared to like mid lane champions in the late game, top laners don't really outperform mid lane champs and or AD carries. So the only thing that makes top lane special is just that it's a long lane and a 1v1, right? So I'm thinking, just if you're in a good matchup, or if you just get a lead from jungle camps or jungle ganks, I think something that I want you guys to practice is just the aspect of freezing as much as you can, and playing champs with strong early game potential, and just freezing, getting to the habit of freezing and slow push and things like that, instead of just constantly shoving or doing other things. For example, this game I'm freezing, and then Malzahar just doesn't want to go top, so he just goes mid, and then I just break the freeze as soon as I see in mid lane, so I can get my reset off. I guess you just keep shoving. Okay, here I just deny him from getting to this wave because I'm so far ahead. But this game might not be a great example of something realistic. This was a really one-sided game off of just Malzahar kind of trolling early game. But this Renekton, I think, is the best champion at having this playstyle. That they kind of starving out the opponent playstyle. So I mean, it's also a term known as Flame Horizon, where you get 100 CS lead over your opponent. And top laners, since the lane is so punishing, I think it's the best role to do it in. So also just make sure you don't die to ganks when you're trying to list stuff out. But yeah, you just want to be able to pressure deny as much as possible, but definitely not giving up kills is what you want to do. So after this lead, even though my team's not doing too great, I think my bot lane starts losing, or something's going on. I'm not sure what happened. I think our bot lane's losing, but it doesn't really matter because I'm so far ahead top lane that yeah, I have almost 3,000 gold lead from top lane. So otherwise it would be even, but I'm denying top laner, the enemy top laner, so much. And just creating freezes, right? So after take down the lane, I'm not trying to shove these waves. I'm trying to slow push. Okay, so this is another thing I want you guys to realize. Slow pushing instead of shoving, so you can keep denying your opponent. Once you get a lead in the top lane, you want to hold on to it as long as possible, because that's going to starve the enemy top laner for a little bit longer, which is what you want to do. And yeah, if you're able to punish, I mean, then again, Renekton is the best at doing this because he can gap close and burst really well, and then he can also 1v2 with his ultimate. So he's the best at doing this. But in general, just keep that in mind in your games. Once you get a lead, just keep trying to snowball that lead. For example, right now I have 80 CS lead at 12 minutes. Just from slow pushing, freezing, all that type of stuff, and then punishing when he walks up to try to get CS or experience. So yeah, this game ends up going pretty well. I don't die at all. I managed to just play it really respectfully, really safe, calculated, but it's still making use of my the lead that I had this game from the early game. And then you can see the score is still pretty even. So it's only 7,000 gold in favor of us, or 5,000 of that is from top lane. So that's the lead that I've been able to get from zoning and denying. So even though Renekton doesn't have an amazing late game, since I'm able to snowball this much, I basically am a late game champion before 20 minutes into this game. So yeah, I think that is one thing that top laners have that is different from mid and bottom, is that you can punish opponents and snowball a small lead a lot. I mean, snowball it a lot more than other lanes can. And as long as you don't die, but still press your lead, you can have a huge impact while the enemy top laner is going to be struggling to catch back up. So this is why it's important to have counter picks available that you like to play. In those counter pick matchups, I would like to see you guys try to further your leads by freezing and doing all these things instead of just pushing or whatever. And yeah, maybe try some Renekton or champions that can do this type of stuff. Just keep it in mind. But yeah, just a short recording video just to put some content out there. It's just something I've been thinking about doing, is creating analysis videos on a daily basis. So I'm just gonna start with this video. This is a game that I had. It was pretty fun. The raid boss Renekton, which this would never happen if the game was even. Obviously Renekton wouldn't be able to carry, but because of the way it played out, I'm just like a huge force in this game that basically unkillable, but still doing good damage, obviously from getting ahead. But yeah, good luck in your games, guys, and remember, just if you have opportunities to deny your opponent, always take these opportunities. And yeah, good luck in your games, guys.